Hey Athena, we're just looking at your final that you turned in. So what you more or less what you had on Tuesday. So here's the final. If anybody's watching that hasn't seen it yet. Okay. Um, this is a new watching, knowing what to expect. This stood out to me this time. You just always keep working on stuff until you're done. This feels so far from the edge of the cliff. I think you could probably cut it like right there and then put some cliff visible in the shot just to make it feel more connected. And so part of the problem is he's moving on this shot and then he's still on the next shot. So you probably can just adjust where your camera cut is. So instead of starting on the cut, instead of starting here on the still position, start it right there. That should link the scenes up a lot better. And then you can probably move him quicker, like get some leaping time in there. I know he's got short, stubby legs, but I would probably just move him faster. We'll take a look at your reference if we get time. I kind of wanted him to trip right here so badly. Like I want him to fall and eat it, and that's what makes him trip because it's funnier. I like this pose. Like I guess he kind of feels like a cool guy on this jump, and not like I'm scared. And just it would be funny because I like this pose. He's like, it's like if a big guy was if a big guy was nervous, he'd be doing like super nervous things and not like superhero stuff. But maybe you're going for more of a like action movie scene and then playing the comedy up at the end where it's supposed to feel like a big action movie scene, like the Lethal Weapon reference you were doing, but it's actually the guy's running from a cute little squirrel thing. On this squirrel shot, you might want to push the squirrel a little closer to the edge and have him pop in quicker. Just because, like the reveal on the squirrel, have the squirrel like way jumping up in the air. So like you totally clear the squirrel from the ledge would I would do, because that way it reads, you'll be able to see the squirrel, do that like giant squirrel like this, and then the tail is behind him, and then have him land closer to the front edge, because then you'll read the appearance of the squirrel and it should feel a little bit funnier. And because the slow creeping to the edge is kind of okay, but you want to at least move the camera in and up. You can keep the camera framing similar to this shot. Oh, even in this shot, the camera's lower. So even if you went with this shot as opposed to this one, or you could keep the shot and just move the squirrel. Either way, that'd be fine. So that would fix a lot of the like storytelling components to this and make things feel a little bit better. There's something that feels a little bit not super desperate in there that I would want to like kick up the acting if this were my piece. I always look at stuff like, if this was my animation, what would I do? So that's where all my notes come from, because my stuff's not always super great. You might even, that sound from the last, this rumbling, it feels like there's something missing with not having sound on your little short. I like the run back. So here it goes. So there's some like desperateness in that. Oh, those are two different scenes. Let me go back. That's the, okay, that's that look back. Okay, that's what you were going for there. Okay. All right, so that first one, you're just getting the slide. That's cool. And then then you have a look back. I think you could get more run in there. I like this. I like the framing in this better than this. I would try and match this more closely. Because you're running from sort of, you're coming up this direction. And this guy's coming up the other way, which is fine. Let's look at this slide. Because we see the feet, we don't see the feet on your reference. A lot of it is your feet. You're sliding, I'm guessing your feet are sliding right there, so you're slowing down, you're right on the edge. Like, it feels like you're on the edge when the slide starts. And when this guy's slide starts, you're not feeling the closeness to that edge yet. You know, you keep, because the camera's farther back and it's just clearer that he's farther away from the edge than you are. I'm almost like afraid for you right here. I'm not super concerned about this guy. So I would try and figure out, how do I make this guy feel more on the edge? And you could like get a foot, let the front of a foot on the edge there. And your slide is really far. So that's why I would add some distance on the run and then reduce some of those sliding. How many frames is that? 16. Eight. So, but I think there's 8 frames, and then your feet stop and your hips keep going. Let's see what's happening here. That's kind of right, because the hips sort of stop, but then your upper body keeps going over. I might push that a little more, but maybe because it's like you can feel the weight shift from your hips. So your hips are catching the weight a little more. So I would go further on the catch. That's where the slide stops. So I might go like more up and back. That way, when he slides, I would make sure there's a clear pose where, so the feet stopped, the hips go down and catch the body, and then they go forward, and then I would keep going forward further. Yeah, work that out a little bit. I would expect more keys in here. It kind of looks like, just looking at your timeline here, it looks like you just have key poses and you haven't really like started to animate this, which might be the case. But I'd expect like a lot more keys on this, and then some overlap, and then the arms moving. Again, like I say this a lot, I think I would do a pass and move this onto the shoulder orientation back to 0. That way you can move the rib cage and animate that to your heart's content, and it doesn't like break your poses. See how the one arm's kind of standing still. I would do that across the whole animation. I think that's the thing I broke. And then right in here feels kind of pose to posy as well. See if I can figure out any big stuff that's missing. That foot move feels strange. Let's see what the reference is doing. Close that guy. That's not your reference. This one? Yeah. The next shot. This one. You are doing a footstep, but it's really fast and it's probably super subtle. See that fall that happens and then the catch and then the lean back? See, I bet you it's gonna be quick. You're lifting on the toe. I bet your toe is on the ground. And then your heel's on the ground there. So 6 frames. But I think your foot is probably, it looks like instead of going that way, it looks like the foot is more like kind of keeping the same position. This is my guess. I mean, I'm not looking at it. I mean, I wasn't there. It looks like it's more like it just goes, it kind of turns out. It doesn't look good. Never mind. Let me go back to what you had. There's a catch that happens that's missing. So it goes step and then fall. So as soon as the foot comes up, your hips are going down. And then they keep going down until past the foot stomp. Until over here. And then they start to go back up. I don't know why that's doing that to me. And then it kind of stays over there as he's looking over there, or she is. And then there's probably more twist in there, feels like. Just looking at your reference and comparing. Oh, it's not. Oh, your twist is on the hips, which is fine. Oh, your backup. So watch your backup. Go back up. Look, and then I think this position here, that pose I'd rework. So that's when you start backing up. So you're looking, and the twist in there. Okay, that's this position. So there's a sense of, I think, moving between hips. So I feel like the whole time you're over here on this side of on the weight shift, and then right around this spot, it shifts over. So I would just exaggerate that more. You have to work on the keys obviously, but like watch, look how far over you are. That's even past where your foot is. Your foot's like, your foot's probably turned out, so your heel is, I'll just draw what I think your foot is doing. I think it's like if your leg is continuing down, and then like the bottom of your shoe, your toe or whatever, and then I think it's something like that. That's why. So I think that's why the weight is, if your weight is even out past your foot there. Feels pretty big, like it feels like that. It's one of those things where I think your reality is bigger than the animation. With animation, you kind of try to push things bigger than we think. And then it stays twisted all the way into here. There's this cool, like, that pose might be missing. I think that's what this is supposed to be. There's like this extra position where everything's faced forward, and then there's a shift, but you go straight into that. So it kind of feels like, and this position should look more like this. Like this is a cool pose, I think. Let's keep that pose. So I think we just sort of hold it for longer, and then you can back up. And then I love the desperate backup and the lean and the like stompy getting ready thing. The walking. I've not really done a lot of walk backwards, and the look down and the thinking. So I would for sure go more lean on that. Go like way further back. This feels way more like this. And do your whole walk back like this. Okay, so I'll stop there. That's a lot of notes. It's probably 25 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know what it was. Do a stab at this. If you want to keep working on it, it's up to you. This is kind of just me going through it, so you know, for like future reference what animators look for and all their stuff. I think this is good for the class. I think it's totally fine for the class. You should be pretty proud of your work. And if you want to keep working on it, just turn it back in whenever, and I'll give you more notes. All right, Athena, see you later.